Hi, I'm Melinda Van Fleet, and welcome to the Good Karma Success Coach podcast. I'm an author, speaker, and success coach who helps women believe in themselves, build confidence, and take action. In 2009, my husband Ryan and I were laid off at the same time, and we moved to the Florida Keys without jobs, not knowing anyone, hardly any money, and we never even been here. But we made it. And now, not every day is sunshine and rainbows, but we're living our best lives. All along in our journey, I've always said that someday when we get our shit together, we will help others. So each week, my intent is to be relatable and bring you tactical tips, tools, share my learnings and stories that can help inspire or transform you wherever you are in your career or general life and make an impact. I strongly believe that if I can do it, you can do it too. So what's stopping you? Hi everyone, welcome to the Good Karma Success Coach podcast. We have never done this before. This is an impromptu jumping on the mic. See how this goes. We'll see how this lands. I haven't even had a full cup of coffee yet. Still dealing with the time change. And my husband Ryan, Good Karma Sportfishing, if you don't know who he is, he has his own extremely successful podcast. He and I were just talking about what is going on out there in social media in regards to what I'm coining money-making FOMO, FOMO. And my husband started talking, and everything he said made total sense and either jived exactly with stuff that I've already been talking about or just haven't gotten to that nugget yet or whatever. So I was like, we're jumping on the mic. Let's see how this goes. So we're using the divine and the universe to lead this conversation. So, hello, Ryan.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been up earlier than she has. So.
He has. And our morning life is normally like him telling me not to talk to him yet because he hasn't fully waken up. So this is quite the flip-flop scenario. So,
yeah, I got an hour on her for the time change.
He's been up.
I don't really get too messed up by it. So
he is my special guest for this bonus episode. And like I said, it's something I've been talking about and writing about recently. I have a lot of experience in this. And by no way, shape, or form with this podcast do I feel at all, nor does Ryan, any bad money mindset issues. We do not have money mindset issues. We are excited for people when they are high earners. We love money. We love rich people. But it's the marketing that is really, really doing damage to people out there. And that is what we were talking about. So I'm going to leave it to Ryan to kick it off. But how we ended up starting talking about it, which like made me go, oh my gosh, is he brought up like infomercials. And The Secret. Remember when The Secret was really big for anyone that's like a Gen X or older or even a little bit younger?
I would say that was kind of the beginning of all this.
Yeah.
All this stuff. I would say that was kind of the kickstart for a lot of the coaching business as far as like
law of attraction,
mindset, different stuff, So everything is morphed. And like I was talking to Melinda, is that we've gone through such a change as a society. So here's the deal. Everybody was locked up for almost a year and a half. Some people got a taste of what it would be like, and they've kind of found themselves, and they're like, wow, I can do something else with my life, but I don't know what I want to do. And then the other half are like, I'm going back to work. But there's a large majority of people that are just quitting their jobs and just saying, screw it, I'm going to go do this without having some sort of plan. So we've got a society out there as far as what's going on in social media, and how it's working is a lot of the marketers know this. So how are they advertising? Everything's morphed from the 80s. I remember waking up in the middle of the night. You can make $1 million overnight. I made $3,000. I made this. Oh my God, I had a $10,000 day today. It was all these crazy stock market infomercials. And I was like, oh my God, I need to like sign up for this stock market and join the plan because they're making $10,000 a day.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that about you.
And I really wanted to make a change in my life because my life was like horrible. This is before I met Melinda. And I wanted to make a change, so I was following, like I wanted to figure out what the hell I could do to get out of my life. So the infomercials were like, oh my God, I need to learn how to trade on the stock market. I need to learn how to trade gold. And because I talked to some guys that were trading gold, and it was like, I need to learn how to do this. Oh, I made $10,000 yesterday. I was like, oh my God. So then I see an infomercial. You too can make $10,000. And I didn't know these people were actors. I really didn't. So because I had like all this hope that these people were real. So now when I flip on social media, it's kind of like all this stuff has evolved, and these people they know that there's people out there that are looking for hope and they want to change their lives. And if they give this person a certain amount of money, it's going to like make them magically wake up in the morning and they're going to have the secret formula to making $1 million in a year. Or having a magic formula to have their business ready to roll, and I just was like, wow. And I see it in the world that I work in. I see it in fishing. I was like, so FOMO marketing has evolved. It's changed, and people are looking for people to follow and give them hope. And when those people know that they have people like that in their groups, they take advantage of them by FOMO marketing. $10,000 day yesterday. I call bullshit.
Yeah, that was an eye-opening experience, because I was talking to someone and I was excited for one of her clients that was promoting on Facebook that she had a $10,000 day or whatever it was exactly. It's been a while, but let's just call it that. And then I come to find out it was one client who paid in full. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's super exciting. I'm very happy. And that's awesome. That's not what I'm saying. But the way that it's promoted, your mind wouldn't think that, right? That one person's going to pay for private coaching, pay in full $10,000. And it might have been like a year program, something like that, right? You just think her business is on fire. I did. I want to believe that. That's exactly it. Like, I want hope. I want to believe that for people. I'm excited for people. Ends up it was one client. So the whole was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. So it's like the people are like, most of this stuff is not true. It's not.
Or it's just you don't hear the whole story.
Or you don't hear the full story behind it.
Yeah, you don't hear the full story. Or you need all the pieces and the parts.
Yeah.
So when Ryan brought up infomercial, my head immediately went to ThighMaster. So if anyone remembers ThighMaster, it was Suzanne Summers. She had found this little gadget that someone was promoting on YouTube, and I gather then she kind of adopted it, or someone made it into the ThighMaster. Anywho, but my point is, you're not going to get super skinny thighs by only doing the ThighMaster. You have to also not eat the donuts. Like, there's a regimen there. There's a lot of moving parts. So when you work with someone, when you sign up for a coach, there's a lot of moving parts. There's so much internal going on inside your head that coach doesn't know that, right? So for everyone to think that magically everything's going to happen in 1 hour after working with someone, which is kind of what's being promoted out there, that's the oh gosh, no, people, some of these things, you don't know the story behind whatever that person was going through for the past few years, and all the energetic work they had to do, and the work they had to do in their marketing, and the work they had to do on not being afraid, and the work they had to do on getting out there online and building an audience. And that takes time, and building a foundation and figuring out what things work for them and what doesn't work for them. Do they sell a lot of books? Do they sell a lot of courses? Do they sell a lot of private coaching, or whatever their lane is, right? It could be anything. I mean, it took years for Ryan to get to the level he is with fishing. It took me easily 3 years to get to be a multi-million-dollar sales rep. It just happens that way. It's work. If it was easy, the universe would give it to everybody right away. But it doesn't work that way. So, yeah, it just made me think. And then you were talking about validation, which is one of my favorite words. And I've been writing about it and podcasting about that word. And I've heard it now being used a little differently than what I refer to it as. I don't think validation is always such a bad thing, because you do need just someone to help you along, which is why you would hire a coach. So I wrote a Medium article, Ego versus Validation. I podcasted about it. But that's it too. Like a lot of people, including myself, I've been there too. I speak, I walk the walk. I've been there.
Yep.
And I hired coaches just for like validation. Like, am I doing something right? Is this right? Is this wrong? What is this? And often, they might put you on a completely different path. Completely. I hired a marketing coach at the beginning of this year. One of the first things she told me was, don't talk about your husband's business. I was like, what? My husband and I have a story. We built this business from zero.
It's our business.
It's
not just my business. That's what I just don't understand is like.
And I wrote about that in my first book.
It's our business.
Which she didn't even read.
And, it's like, it's funny.
And I listened to somebody else because I was looking for validation. I listened to somebody else and took that course of action, which was wrong because I was looking for validation. It wasn't my ego. I was just looking to see if I was like on the right track. So that's where the separation comes in. But my point is with this story actually, is just that I took the wrong advice.
Yes.
I took the wrong advice.
Yep.
And then months later, when she finally took some time to get to know me, she goes, oh, you were right. And I'm like, yeah, I was. But it was my fault. I own that. I own that because I listened to somebody else who didn't know jack shit. So think about those things. Hire the right coach. Hire a coach that cares and listens and looks at your content and tries to understand you and how you are feeling instead of all this other crap that's going on out there.
Yes. Yeah, you have to be able to sort through.
The coffee's kicking in. Can you tell?
There you go. You have to be able to. Yeah, Melinda and her coffee. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, you can read about that in the book too.
You're so mean.
So, yeah. Anyways, so validation. My thoughts on validation is that I wish, when I was going through a difficult time in my younger years, I looked for, I wish there would have been, I didn't know anything about the coaching world. There was nothing on social media. I looked to people that I thought were mentors, but really they weren't. And I needed a third party. I needed some help, and it wasn't there. Okay? It wasn't there. And now we have the internet. And a lot of people are like, I'm just going to find it on help on YouTube. It's free. And you got to be careful. So, but what I'm trying to say is you just have to be careful on who you select as a coach. Okay. You really do. So, I mean, and then the coach needs to be very selective on who they select as well. Even though somebody's offering you up some cash, it doesn't mean that coach is going to take you on. So it's you really got to be careful. Both parties have to work together because that's how things work in life to make a change. So I'm just telling people out there is that
because Ryan's a coach too. So
yeah.
If you don't know my husband,
I do.
He is a fishing coach, but covers other things.
Yeah, I cover other things. It's a fishing.
Just so you understand the context.
And one thing about fishing is that fishing is so mental. 80 to 90% of it's mental, and giving people confidence to get them from point A to point B. And that's a lot of fishermen look for validation. And that's what they look for online. They look for validation of what other guys are doing. They want to know why this guy is successful. What's he doing? So they look for validation.
Well, you think about posting, right?
Yeah, posting.
When you post, this is what's so, oh my God, there's so much to say on this. It won't be all on this podcast because I need to filter what I'm going to say. Because you never know who's listening. But when you post, you're obviously, for the most part, looking for validation, right? So with a fishing picture, when these guys, which is totally normal, this is nothing bad that I'm saying, but people post their fishing pictures and they want people to like and comment, right?
Yes.
And then you have people that are coaches with big groups that are going, post your this and that and that. Well, that's validation. That's all validation. And there's nothing wrong with that. But within a container. Within a healthy container. Let's put it like that. That's the easiest way I can put it for our podcast. But yeah, people, it's just part of it. When they post.
Yep. And I have a lot of people that message me and ask me, like, and I've had to set boundaries because it was overwhelming for me, because I really do like to help people. So, and it's very natural for me. And then I just had to learn that I had to set, it's like I had to really, as a coach, and I was like, oh, wow, some of the things people were asking about were kind of like, were pretty intense. And so, in other words, I know everybody's out there looking for validation on certain skills sets, and they want to be better. And we're in a society where I think we realize is that there's a better life for us all as human beings, no matter what we're doing in our life, whether we're a stay-at-home dad or mom, and you're trying to find and you're kind of like upset maybe that you got to like stay at home. Well, not really. I mean, there's things out there, and there's help that can like help you. So, or there's somebody that has just been laid off from a job, and they're like, they can't find the job that they want. They're getting frustrated. The recruiters are kicking them back, telling them there's nothing available, and you get frustrated. Well, there's help for that too. And you just have to be careful about who you listen to when you're kind of stuck in a dead, like in one of those situations.
Right. And when you think it's going to happen super fast,
right. And that's the thing. When you think it's going to happen.
That's the marketing.
That's the marketing of it all. When you think it's going to happen super fast.
That's the expectation.
That's the expectation.
So just be careful.
Right.
That's the whole big thing.
Right.
It's not that we don't believe that things can't happen. Obviously, we're living proof. We walk the walk.
Yeah.
After getting laid off at the same time in 2009, but it doesn't happen overnight.
No, and it's that's one thing about today's society is that there's tools out there for advanced learning, and advanced learning, like there's people that help you get to certain places quickly, but you have to also know that there's people out there with this marketing gimmick that can tell you they can get there quickly if you pay them $30,000. Well, you just have to like really know that you have to like be sure and just know that it may not be it. So that's a risk.
Right. And it's your path and it's your journey.
It's your path.
And you just have to keep going.
Yeah, it's your path, your journey. And gosh, I made a lot of mistakes with like certain things. Thinking it was going to get me something, and it didn't. Jobs, people. The biggest thing that I've worked on personally to be a better coach is myself in general. And I wasn't ready to do any sort of coaching until I was confident that things were clicking right with me personally.
Yeah, so that's another big thing that's going on.
You have to realize that you have to be like clicking personally before you can help somebody. If you're not clicking personally, and if your mind isn't in the right place, and you're asking for and you're advertising that you're going to like make this person a big amount of money, or then you just got to know, man, that things are like, you just got to be really careful. So fake followers.
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
People are like, they'll pull up their Instagrams, and I used to be guilty of this. And then I realized how they were getting the followers, and then they're using bots and fake comments. And one thing you guys can do, you can go through and look at a guy's account or a girl's account. She has 1 million followers with a couple comments.
You can just think realistically.
Realistically.
I mean, it's so obvious now.
Someone I was... So just know that I know there's people out there that want the help. Everybody wants help with something, and I don't give a shit. Like there's professional athletes, and they're always working to look better, get better. I know that for a fact because I'm not going to get into how I know, but I just know. So people are looking to get better. They may excel at one area, but they might be poor at another. So then they're always working on that. They're always working on their health as far as their physical conditions to make them better at this and that. So the same goes with what you want to get better at. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyways, so that's really all I got. I want you, just know that there's help out there for people.
Yep. So thank you, Captain Ryan. Thank you for chiming in with me this morning and sharing your deep thoughts on an early morning.
Yes. One thing I'm going to give you guys a little tip is that as you're going through and looking for pieces of information, you have to learn how to sort through the clutter. And when you find something that is, I might be able to apply this, then you just put that away in your arsenal. It's like a fishing lure. Fishing lures. So for example, you may come across something in a forum, like in Melinda's forum, or you may listen to Melinda's podcast. You may think that the podcast doesn't apply right now, but one thing you can do is you put it away in your arsenal, because that situation will come up eventually. And the better you get in life and in business, those situations arise. It's like what I teach my guys in my courses is that the better you get, the more challenges you're going to be faced, and you never thought you'd be faced with them. And one of them's catching a big fish. You're teaching people they want to get to a certain level, and then when they get to that certain level, they're like, oh my God, it's happening. What am I going to do? How am I going to be faced with it? That's when you need to go back into your arsenal of things that you've listened to in the past, your notes. You go back and listen to one of Melinda's podcasts about a challenge she had and use that as a tool. Or you call Melinda for a consultation. That's how it works. So to get over the hump, you're going to be faced with that. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be faced with it. Believe me, because that's where I'm at in my life right now. Is the bigger I got, the more challenges I was faced with personally. And not just fishing wise, but business wise, personally, people, situations, large social media, working with other companies. So just know that there's these tools available to you on how to work through that stuff. And Melinda's podcast has a bunch of them. So that's what it's all about, is having the tools. And you're like, this isn't going to apply to me today. I'm not going to listen. Well, you don't know.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to
it's like a lure. You don't know when you're going to need it.
I'm going to close on this because I find that the smartest people are the people that dig through old podcasts. And it's so true, right? Would you agree?
It's so true. Yeah. They use it as an arsenal. Yeah.
I have. If I found someone that I liked, I dig through. I skip all the interview podcasts, which to me are fillers, which is one reason I really don't do very many interviews anymore. And I never did, quite frankly. Ryan never did. He's done 2 in all his podcasting years. And yeah, dig through people's old content. Often, I continue to overshare, but most people don't. I listened to somebody's podcast yesterday. She doesn't podcast as consistently anymore. And so I was like, I wonder oh my God, it was so fucking boring. I was like, are you serious? After all these years, that's what you're talking about? Really? Turned it off after 5 minutes. But anywho, go back through people's old podcasts, and often they share the stuff that's really helpful in the very beginning. I share it throughout, but not everyone does. So if you find somebody that you're interested in, a coach online, and they have a podcast, go back, way back. And often those podcasts, or put their name in the search, because often when they're on somebody else's podcast, that's when they share a lot of golden nuggets because of the other person asking them questions. So anyhow, just a little tip for everybody that is interested in coaching, is looking to hire a coach, anything like that, it's just like a little tip. And if you feel energetically aligned to work with me, shoot me an email, message, whatever. Until that, all right, Captain Ryan, we're wrapping this up because I got shit to do.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for listening to me
love
rant.
You, honey. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for listening to me rant this morning.
Rare occasion. Normally he's really quiet, doesn't talk.
Probably won't happen. Yeah, probably won't happen again for quite some time.
Something happened magical last night. I don't know. Maybe it was Yellowstone. Staying up late. Time change. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Till next time. Be grateful. Be learning. Always. I can't even say my clothes. All right. Goodbye. Thank you.